For almost 30 years, motocross had a soundtrack, a violent, high-pitched scream that echoed across tracks around the world. Two-stroke engines weren't just motorcycles, they were the identity of the sport itself. But in 2002, one motorcycle arrived that would quietly destroy that era. Not through rule changes, not through bans, but by doing something far more dangerous. It made winning easier. This is the story of the Honda CRF 450R, the bike that killed two-strokes. Chapter 1. The Golden Age of Two-Strokes. Before the 2000s, two-stroke engines ruled motocross completely. They were brutally simple machines, lightweight, explosive, unforgiving. They demanded skill, aggression, and perfect throttle control. And that challenge became part of motocross culture. Every legendary rider, every iconic championship, every unforgettable race moment happened on a screaming two-stroke. Manufacturers battled fiercely, but they all followed the same formula. If you wanted to win motocross, you built a better two-stroke. It wasn't just competition, it was tradition. Chapter 2. The First Warning Sign. Then, in 1998, something strange happened. Yamaha released the YZ400F, a four-stroke motocross bike. At the time, it almost seemed ridiculous. Four strokes were heavier, more complex, and considered too slow for professional racing. But Yamaha wasn't experimenting for fun. They were chasing something bigger. And when Doug Henry lined up and won on that four-stroke, the industry felt its first tremor.
Then I went out and rode it, okay? And I rode it at a real hard, slippery, fast track. And of course, it's going to be better there. And it was neat. It was a cool-looking bike. I mean, the thing looked, I've never seen anything like it. I looked at it as a challenge, and
Suddenly, the impossible looked possible. But most riders still believed two-strokes were untouchable, including Honda. Chapter 3. Honda falls behind. Honda had built its motocross reputation on two-stroke dominance. The CR250 was legendary. But Honda engineers were watching something worrying unfold. Environmental pressure was increasing, four-stroke technology was advancing, and Yamaha had just proven a dangerous new concept. Honda had a decision to make: stick with tradition or chase the future. They chose the future, but they weren't trying to kill two-strokes. They were trying to catch Yamaha. Chapter 4. Enter the CRF 450R. In 2002, Honda released the CRF 450R. This wasn't just another four-stroke experiment. This bike was engineered with one goal: to win. Honda stripped weight wherever possible. They refined power delivery. They built a machine that was brutally fast, but incredibly controllable. Compared to earlier four-strokes, the CRF 450 felt revolutionary. It didn't just produce power, it delivered power in a way riders could actually use. And that would become the most dangerous weapon of all. Chapter 5. The King Switches Sides. Then came the moment that changed motocross forever. Ricky Carmichael. At the time, Carmichael wasn't just winning championships, he was dominating the entire sport. And he was doing it on two-strokes. He was the symbol of everything two-stroke motocross represented. Then, he switched from his long-standing relationship with Kawasaki to Honda. Fans watched closely. Most expected a transition period, and there was, but not for long. Ricky Carmichael's time on the Honda CRF 450R four-stroke was short but legendary. He only raced it for one full championship season, the 2004 Outdoor Nationals, before moving to Suzuki. After missing the entire 2004 Supercross season due to a torn ACL, Carmichael returned for the outdoor series on the 4-stroke. His record? 24 wins out of 24 motos. Significantly, this was his second perfect season, but his first ever on a 4-stroke. It proved he could dominate the new era of 4-stroke technology just as easily as he had the 2-strokes. And suddenly, the entire racing world realised something terrifying. The CRF 450 wasn't just competitive, it was better.
Oh no, not the high five on the last lap.
With room to spare, Carmichael would coast to the finish line with his 6th straight moto win.
Next weekend, if I could pull it off, I really like Bud, so 100 wins would be unbelievable.
Chapter 6. Why the CRF 450 was so deadly.
Sideways, folks. Strap in and hold on. Having problems there, and Ricky Carmichael currently trying to make a move, and he's just not getting the job done, sitting back in 8th place.
There was plenty of time somewhere during the lap. I took my eyes off it. Oh, it's a little bit of block passing done to him.
2-stroke racing demanded perfection. Riders had to constantly manage clutch control, maintain precise throttle timing, fight aggressive power delivery. The CRF 450 changed that equation completely. It delivered massive torque. It produced smoother power. It created traction where 2-strokes spun. Riders could make small mistakes and still go fast. And in professional racing, consistency beats raw aggression. Lap times dropped, rider fatigue decreased, and teams started asking a dangerous question. Why fight a harder motorcycle if a faster one existed?
There it is. Chad Reed on the inside and takes over the lead. Now the position.
There he goes. Look at these guys trying to be careful.
Chapter 7. The Domino Effect. Once Honda proved the CRF 450 worked, the industry moved quickly. Suzuki accelerated 4-stroke development. Kawasaki followed. KTM invested heavily. Factory budgets shifted almost overnight. Research and development abandoned 2-strokes. Not because they stopped working, but because they stopped winning championships. Within just a few years, the bikes that built motocross were disappearing from factory race teams. Not banned, not outlawed, just replaced. Chapter 8. The Cultural Loss.
The gate is about to drop, and moto number 1 is underway.
But this wasn't just a technical evolution. It was emotional. The sound of motocross changed forever. The violent scream of 2-strokes faded into the deeper roar of 4-strokes. Riding styles changed. The aggressive edge of control techniques became less necessary. And for many fans, motocross lost part of its personality. Some riders welcomed the change. 4-strokes were easier to ride, more forgiving, often more reliable. But others saw something vanish, something raw, something rebellious, something irreplaceable. Chapter 9. Was the CRF 450 really the villain? Here's the twist. Honda never designed the CRF 450 to destroy 2-stroke racing. They designed it to stay competitive. But progress in motorsport has one brutal rule. Performance decides everything. And once it proved faster, the outcome became inevitable. The industry didn't choose nostalgia, it chose results. Chapter 10. The Legacy Today. Ironically, two-strokes never truly died. They survived in amateur racing, in enthusiast communities, and in a growing wave of nostalgia riders. Today, many riders are rediscovering two-stroke machines for their simplicity, sound, and personality. But professional motocross will never look the same again. And that transformation can be traced back to one motorcycle, the Honda CRF 450R. It didn't ban two-strokes, it didn't outlaw them, it simply made them unnecessary. And sometimes, that's the most powerful revolution of all. So what do you think? Did the CRF 450 improve motocross, or did it erase something special? Let me know in the comments.